evening, everybody, and welcome to... Let me get my mic a little closer here. I'm a slacker. I should have already done that. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to podcast named Deferred. I am your host, Seven. With me is my hetero life mate. I like him old. His name is Craig Newton.
I made it.
Man, you showed up exactly when I needed you, because ain't nobody want to see me talk this whole time. What's up, Kyle? Thank you for stopping in, sir. I appreciate you. Fellow Red Sox fan. He's got good taste in baseball teams. Man, it has been a week. And I want to start. I'm going to go off on a little rant, then I'll let you, while you're getting settled, and I'll let you kind of tee off on this. Because the first thing I want to talk about, we kind of touched on it last week. Jen Powell became the first woman to umpire a professional baseball game. She was she was at the bases, first and third respectively, I believe, on the Saturday game, and then she was behind the plate for the Sunday game. When the first pitch came in, it was a ball, and she called it a strike. And of course, the internet fucking exploded. I think it was just settling when the New Heights episode with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift dropped tonight, which consequently shut down YouTube. So we made that maybe one of the reasons why we're not getting a lot of YouTube views right now is because it literally happened. It crashed YouTube, which I thought was just really interesting. Congrats to them. And I love Taylor; she's a sweetheart. But the internet exploded, and she got dragged. And over the course of the game, of 156 called pitches, she missed 11 of them. It was 93% accuracy. Was the official total on scorecards. She was not even the worst umpire that day. I can't remember his name. I think his first name started with, I think it was Kevin was his first name. Had a 92% accuracy, and I did some research on him, and he's been an umpire in the MLB for over 5 years. But nobody said shit about him. In professional sports, as fans, we tend to have this consideration for rookies. When you come up, it takes a little time to get acclimated. Or if you start hot, there's going to be a dead spell in there while you adjust because people have picked up on some tendencies. You have to adjust. This is very common in baseball. It's in any sport, NHL, NFL, NBA, all of them. But we get a female umpire, and all of a sudden, she's expected to be perfect. We need to get the fuck over this. I'm sick of it. The standard is stupid. We can't even expect modern day tenured umpires to be perfect. Was the initial pitch way off? Absolutely. If you look at the spray chart, everything else was close. Really. There were a couple that were called strikes that were, or that were called balls that were strikes, and vice versa, that were a little clear. But for the most part, everything was close. There's no reason for there to be such a stupid standard. She's a trailblazer. She worked very, very hard, and I've an insane amount of respect for her. I was talking with somebody else the other day, and we're kind of looking forward to the first time a coach tries to yell at her. I want to see what happens, because it's going to happen, and it should, because that's what happens to the other umpires. We treat her like everybody else. She's a human fucking being. But I really want to see what happens. I'm not going to lie. Craig, what are your thoughts, man?
I'm so happy for her, and for the haters and the naysayers, go pound sand. I mean, you don't imagine the adrenaline she had.
Yeah, she was so fucking wound out.
Imagine the adrenaline that Jackie Robinson that Jack Robinson had with the Brooklyn Dodgers his first time at bat.
Yeah.
Cut her some slack. I mean, she's doing a better job than a number of the umpires that we could list off that we've about had it with. I hope she stays. I hope hope to see her stay the rest of the season and hopefully gets a permanent home next season and replace one of these jerk umpires that the game revolves around them and only them. So I'm proud of her. I'm really happy for her. I'm happy for baseball to finally, have a woman in there. And she's gonna be so good that we're gonna forget that we're listening to a woman calling balls and strikes.
I agree, and
we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there. And Kyle, let her do Yankees game. Boone will yell at her. Yeah, absolutely. He's got to feel bigger than somebody. And I think she's gonna be great. I really do. I think it was a very keyed up situation. And I think there's always going to be haters no matter what. There are a number of umpires that I would happily watch her replace. CB Buckner, Laz Diaz.
Yep.
That Goomba looking motherfucker that threw Walker Buehler out in the second game back from the IL. His first game back from the IL. Every single one of them. Yep. Because she was there. She didn't make that about her. The league did, and they had to. They had to. This isn't CBS showing Taylor Swift for 10 minutes, week 13. They didn't have to do that. They had to. There had to be some fanfare about this because it is historic for baseball.
It's history.
It is. It really is. But she was so tightly wound, and I instantly felt bad for her when I was watching and I saw what happened with that first pitch, because we all would have done it.
Yeah,
we all would have done it. We all would have, if we were standing at the plate as the batter and it was our first time getting called up. Been in the majors for 10, been in the minors for 10 years, finally get our shot. It's our one chance to hopefully look good to where my team keeps me or another team trades for me. So I get a shot to stay in the majors. That first pitch could be in the dirt and I am still going to swing at it.
I have a story for you.
Okay.
I can relate to her because the first time that I interviewed Nolan Ryan, I was beyond amped. And this is back when he's with the Houston Astros, and they're towards the end of the season, they're getting ready to go into the playoffs. And I had him all to myself in the visitors' bullpen at Candlestick, and brand new writer that I was, totally amped. I made the biggest boner question that you could make to a future Hall of Famer when I said, and this is absolute truth. I have it on. I still have the tape of it. And I asked him, how do you feel about going to your first playoffs? Totally brain farting that he was part of the Miracle Mets in '69.
Oh,
okay?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, this is how good Nolan Ryan is, okay? And how good he was to me. He pauses. He looks at me, smiles, and says something. I have it on the tape. It's effective. Well, it's actually not my first rodeo. I had a little something to do with the '69 Mets, and I just wanted to crawl and bury myself in the mound. I was so humiliated and so embarrassed. But he was such a class act that he didn't bury me on it. So I mean, we're all entitled. Anybody out there listening? Imagine meeting your favorite movie star or your favorite politician or whatever, and stuff. I mean, how cool would you be? So I mean, she had a lot of adrenaline going. I had a hell of a lot of adrenaline going. Interviewing Nolan Ryan the first time, so I can totally relate to having the adrenaline and maybe missing that pitch just a little. No problem with that whatsoever.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Now mine's not baseball related.
Okay. It's better then.
So when I was late 19, 20 years old, 21, I've talked to you about it personally. Like I spent time working in the music industry, and
yep.
A lot of the stuff that I did was fill in stuff because I was young and that's all I didn't have a set job. And I had made a connection with a country music band that was up and coming at that point called Whiskey Falls. The The lead vocalist, his name was actually Seven. Like that was his birth name, which is always funny. I've thought it was funny that I have this nickname. And I've told him I would fight it for it, but he can kick my ass, so that's not going to happen. But he, he had some background. The bassist, his name's Wally Brandt, who's still a good friend of mine. He spent a lot of time filling in on like In Excess and several other bands. Owns his own record studio. Deep pocket, deep industry pockets. The keyboardist and other background vocals, his name's Buck Johnson. Or his name is Buck Johnson. He plays now for Aerosmith and Hollywood Vampires. He's their background keys and vocals. Also, that song by Tal Bachman where she's so high.
Yes.
Okay. The album cut is him actually singing because Tal couldn't hit the note yet. The lead guitarist, his name is Damon Johnson. They're not related, but he had spent some time within Lizzie and a couple of other rock bands. He has now taken over in Lynyrd Skynyrd for Gary Rossington with his passing. He now has that spot permanently. Okay. That's how good these guys were. And I was trying to get a gig working directly for them because it would have given me the point where I wasn't jumping around to different tours. I had a set job. And these guys were paying me to do stuff like as their stage manager, instrument tech, whatever they needed. And I was talking with Damon, the lead guitarist, about, because he handled a lot of business for the band at that point, about my skills and what I'd been doing and stuff like that. And he goes, so you can wear different hats. And now to set this on, we were at a country music we had actually met up and talked at a country music festival in Arizona. And like, this was actually a work meeting. I helped them get that gig. And I was actually spending some time helping him and working with him and spending time with him. And we'd kind of gotten done. He and I were talking. And he goes, so you have different hats. And I was wearing my cowboy hat. And I went, oh, yeah, I have ball caps and stuff like, and did not realize what he was talking about because I was so amped up that I was this close to actually getting what I had been working towards. And I was only like 2.5, 3 years in.
Yeah.
We all do it when we get to that point where where our dreams are finally realizing we're right at the cusp of that.
Yep.
Interviewing Noah and Rylan, holy shit, I would have literally shit my pants. Like, hand to God, I would have literally shit my pants. And so I can't judge you for fumbling that. I would have messed it up too. Nobody would judge me for that conversation. I was trying to get a job working for people that are very industry experienced. You may not know them, but they make shit happen.
Right.
That's a huge connection.
Right.
And she has worked her entire life for that moment. Of course she wasn't perfect. Nobody is. She's a rookie. She should get the same considerations that every other fucking rookie does.
And should expect it also. She would expect it also. She would say that, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. She's human. And our issues with umpires have never been about the fact that they aren't perfect. It's because there are times where they miss things that are super egregious, and we need to be able to correct them. And we'll use what happened with her as an example. That was very clearly a ball, and she called it a strike because she was keyed up. The batter taps their head. 30 seconds later, they're doing the next pitch because they've called it a ball, and the game moves on. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
She's human. We have the technology to make sure we get it right.
Yep.
They're not conflicting ideals. The other problem we have is with the Nutsacks like CB Buckner and Laz Diaz and Goomba McGee, whatever the hell his name is, trying to make themselves a part of the game. That's not your job as an umpire. It's not.
Nope.
You're there to call the game and keep it moving. Those are the two jobs of any referee. Call the game, keep it moving. Because if you leave that shit up to athletes, ain't nothing going to get accomplished.
Nope.
And I say that as somebody who is an athlete. We've got a lot. We're motivated, but we are horrible with time management most of the time when it comes to the actual game. It's just the way it is. So I wanted to talk about this Shohei lawsuit thing because this has been really interesting. I've done some reading on it, but I'm hoping that you have some understanding of it as well. So from what I've read, Shohei and his agent are getting sued for screwing a developer over in a project where they had brought him in to be the spokesperson for it. And then because of something that they did, this developer ended up getting removed off of the project. And they are holding Shohei and his agent responsible. So yet again, it's not Shohei, it's somebody acting on behalf of Shohei. Just want to point that out. And this could just be a bitter fucking person grasping at straws, hoping that they'll get money because they did something else that got them kicked off of. So it's entirely possible Shohei's innocent until proven guilty. But it's a little fucking sketchy, first of all. But is what okay, so I guess my first question, what have you seen on it?
I think a lot will depend on how insulated Shohei is in this agreement that they had. If he's not insulated, then it can get really interesting. But if he's insulated, he's just the name, and there'll be nothing to come of it. I don't think.
What's up, Andrew?
I don't know. It's still too early to really give an opinion on it. I mean, it's weird. It's funny how drama's starting to follow him around.
It's a double-edged sword. I really think it is because, like, especially when you get somebody that's that famous, like he's one of those that is actually as famous as like he's baseball's Taylor Swift in a sense.
I was going to say that,
because like wherever Shohei goes, there is a literal economic impact that happens.
Yep.
The only comparison to that right now is Taylor Swift. Beyonce doesn't make an economic impact.
Yeah.
Like it's. I mean, Rob Manfred's not making an economic impact. He can't even go to a barber anymore.
Yeah, Shohei is impacting two countries. Two countries. That's the power he's got.
He has actually, I mean, at this point, he has impacted the entire LA economy because with him going to the Dodgers owner was able to buy all of those other sports teams that are in LA.
Yep.
That he has now literally impacted the entire LA economy, and he's been in the city for less than 5 years.
Yep.
So and my point on that is when you have that much of a center of attention, there are certain things that are going to follow. There's always rumors about Taylor Swift. Oh, she's doing this, she's doing that. The environmentalists are butthurt because she flew a plane for something that would have taken less time to drive. Like, there's always going to be things with with individuals that are at that level. But my question is, what could somebody that is a endorser possibly do and be involved enough in a project, a real estate project, and they do something that costs the builder the contract? Or the developer.
I can't think of anything.
That's the part that doesn't make sense to me with this situation. Because I get the people that are skeptical because of the fact we've got more drama following Shohei. I get that completely. But looking at this objectively, that's my first question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
And, I mean, I don't know everything about real estate, but I've worked around it enough since I got into insurance that I have an understanding, even on the corporate side, how these what you kind of see with these things and the layout of the projects are going to be. And what would he have done? Like, was it just not showing up, bashing the project? And because they brought him in, they lost their part of it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, on the surface, I don't get it.
I don't either. And you're asking really good questions. And I'm going to admit I don't have the confidence to really speak on this because it's just too much in the air, and I want to see it play out. But my guess is that Shohei Ohtani comes with a whole bunch of attorneys, financial and otherwise. Whatever he puts a signature to, there's a couple of attorneys that are looking everything over before they say, yeah, go ahead and sign on this or go ahead and speak on this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's pretty. My guess is he's pretty far insulated from any repercussions from this. Eventually, right now, yeah, it doesn't look good, but in the long run, I think he's pretty much insulated.
You can't even say it doesn't look good though, because there's more questions than answers in this scenario.
Right. But
and
that's part doesn't look good. Is there's more questions than answers right now, and his name keeps popping up. So that's part doesn't look good right now.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, but it could just definitely be. I mean, we saw, individuals that controlled Britney Spears and Jamie Spears. He took control of all of her money and did so many things that were in her name that she had nothing to do with, and he was actually screwing her over.
Yeah.
That happened with the Jacksons, and especially Michael. When you have the certain level, there's always going to be people like, look, it happened to Dane Cook, and it was his brother.
Yeah.
Like when you get to that certain level, there's always going to be somebody that's going to try. And unfortunately, the closer they are, the more effective they are. And is it possible that Shohei's trusting the wrong people? Absolutely. But I can't even say that at this point because, again, there's still so many questions. The whole scenario doesn't make sense.
Right.
So it's hard to say. And I'm definitely not the Shohei is the MVP until he dies guy. I think he's a bit overrated at this point until he actually starts doing the whole double-sided thing again consistently and putting up numbers. But that's just because I'm an asshole. But I have Shohei Funko behind me. I have a lot of respect for Shohei. This doesn't make sense to me, man. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
But I did also want to show off something Shohei related. So we had in the Angels Dodgers game last night, we had something really funny happen. And that was that Shohei hit into a triple play, and then the next at bat hit a home run. So let's show the triple play first. We'll get to see that as baseball fans very often. So let's show the triple play first, because that's just. Hold on here. I got to fix something. That's just magical. Come on. And this is courtesy of ESPN in case you didn't see that. Why is this doing this? There we go.
Pitcher's best friend.
So Shohei hits into a triple play. And then, because we gotta show them both.
Fair and balanced.
Fair and balanced. Suck it, Fox News.
Tags one to right. He breaks the tie with a bomb.
And what's crazy is, obviously, that was a missile. That was an absolute missile. And they take the lead in the top of the ninth. The Dodgers lost that game. That was actually the last run that the Dodgers scored. The Angels won that game last night 7-6. So, Padres fans, hang your banner today. You're actually in first place for a little while. Congratulations. It's the only banner you're going to get to hang, but, celebrate stuff. I have no doubt in my mind, depending on who they get, San Diego loses in the first round. I'm not saying they're not a playoff team, but I don't think Manny Machado has canceled his October 15th vacation yet. He probably won't. He doesn't need to. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, that was an interesting thing because, like, as we dive into talking about standings and the playoff races and stuff like that, the Dodgers are a half game behind the Padres. So the Dodgers would have that first wild card slot, which would put them against hold on. Where did it go? Wild card. There we go. Oh no, they're not in the first wild card slot. Technically, the Cubs have them by a half game. They'd be playing the Cubs, and the Mets would be playing the Padres. I think. Yeah, I would end up being the Padres because the Phillies have a half game on that. So right now they're the second seed. So that would be the chance for the Mets to actually make it to the second round because, they just got to get past the Padres. That's good. That's going to be like, there are so many analogies that I want to use here right now, but I don't want to get canceled. That's like those two special kids that sit in the corner and slap fight each other and nobody ever wins. That's what the Padres and Mets matchup would be like right now.
Timmy.
See, come on. I did it in a respectful but funny way.
Very respectful. Very respectful.
Very respectful. Mets are gonna Met. No, it was. That was because you got to love that positioning. Line drive, catches a line drive, tags second, and then fires it over to first. It was less than 3 seconds for all 3 outs. Absolutely insane.
Did he call it a bang bang play?
Oh, I'm sure he did. And that's what's crazy is the Angels. The Angels every once in a while will do something. And you're like, wait, is this going to be a thing? Is this going to happen? And then they just go back to doing Angel stuff, and you're like, no, it's not going to happen. And
the Angels are like, hey, psst, hey, remember Mike Trout? We still got him. We're still playing.
The Angels are the Detroit Lions of Major League Baseball. They have spent the last decade plus showcasing one player and doing very little to build around him. The fact that Mike Trout is going to go into the Hall of Fame without a World Series ring pisses me off. Like, legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the thing, in the offseason, if Mike Trout came to the Angels and said, hey, look, you're sending me to a contender, and gave him a list of 5 teams to make a trade with, if anybody criticizes Mike Trout for that, I will personally place my hand aggressively across their cheek several times. I don't get canceled.
He's carried that team for many, many years. It's time for him to get a shot at the ring. I agree. Yeah, he's earned it. I hate players that are in that situation. No, I don't hate the player. I hate that situation for players. Yeah.
But I would not blame him if he came to the Angels and said, look, you either send me to the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Sox. He probably wouldn't want to go to the Padres. Nobody wants to go there. The Cubs are going to be a decent team next year too. The Astros, like something like that. One of the teams that's going to be in line next year. Find one that's going to make a deal that makes sense for the team. I will give you that. Come down to
a great Cub. He'd be a great Cub.
Honestly, I think it would be a good fit for him. I mean, with his age, you don't need to put him in the outfield.
Nope.
So you have a solid DH, and I get that your DH right now is Seiya Suzuki, but Seiya is hitting 249 with 27 home runs, 85 RBIs, and an 820 OPS. Mike Trout for 2025 is only hitting 240 78 hits. Where's his home runs? So 20 home runs, 825 OPS, and has knocked in 52 RBIs. So, I mean, ultimately, Seiya might be on paper a little bit better, but you put him in a much better situation. I guarantee you that bat flight flows freely again.
Oh yeah.
I think part of that is age, part of that is environment.
Yeah.
If he's the DH for the Dodgers, he's hitting 275 and has 30 home runs already. Just going across town.
Yeah.
I don't want
Let's
to see
from
him go
Chicago
to the
though,
Dodgers.
shall we? Not LA. It's from
Yeah,
Chicago.
no, but right. And I'm not saying he needs to go to the Dodgers. I'm just saying if he was, I'd much rather see him in Chicago, Boston, not the Yankees, obviously. Fuck the Yankees. Even the Braves. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I want to see him go to the Braves. Just, not the Dodgers, not the Yankees.
The Cubs.
The Cubs. It's that organization just frustrates me. Current nationally wild cards, like I said, Cubs, Dodgers, and Mets. Does anybody fall? Or you think that field is pretty much set?
Pretty much set, I think. Barring catastrophic injuries, that's pretty much set.
We look at the American League. You're right now, the best team in the American League is. Oh, by the way, the Milwaukee Brewers are the best team in baseball, but right now, and they're on a 12-game heater. Let's talk about that for a second.
Amazing.
This is their second 12-win streak of the year. That first one is what got them out of the hole and got them into the point where they were actually competing against the Cubs for the division. A second 12, and they've hit over 100. They've scored over 100 runs in their last 3 games. I saw Jeff Passan tweet about it this morning. No, not in the 12-game stretch, they've scored over 100 runs. Insane.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. And they did kind of what a lot of owners wish they could do. There's a nice little blend of homegrown and purchased talent. Like Contreras, Jackson Chourio when he's healthy, Christian Yelich. Yelich hasn't always been a Brewer. No. He played. Who was it that he played for? It was Miami. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, he played for Miami before. Like, you got stuff, you guys that they've brought up and guys that they brought in. They're not hemorrhaging money in payroll, but they're not at the bottom either. Not with that roster. Like respect.
Yeah, I'm happy for Brewers fans. I mean, it's been a nice run for them.
It's their they just had like back-to-back games. They scored more than 12 runs. It was the first time since 2018. It's like that's not fun. A lot of bigger teams do that at least once a year, twice a year. That's 7 years. That's just that was a good joke. That sucks. I'm happy for him though. Actually, I've got some friends up in Milwaukee. I'm gonna have them go to the store and get me some of the title stuff when this starts dropping, just to have it, because that's not something you're gonna have for a long time. It's not gonna be an every year thing for the Brewers. They're the type of team that goes on a fire sale after they win a World Series. We'll see what happens though on that one. I like it. But now moving on to the American League. Right now, by half a game, the Blue Jays are the best team in the American League, so they would get that first bye. Second bye would go to the Tigers. If let me see, what's the score looking like right now? If the Mariners beat the Orioles, they should have a half game lead in the division, or it should be tied. So like, I mean, actually kind of like, so either the Mariners or the Astros is playing where did that go? The Yankees. And then the Sox and the Mariners are playing, which I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, that's the best rotation in baseball. And I have a mad respect for that organization. I do not want to face them in the postseason. Does anybody fall in the American League?
No.
It's a tougher question.
Yeah. I mean, again, the Magic, barring any injuries, they shouldn't.
I don't think anybody falls. I think the order may shift around.
Yeah.
Just because if, Seattle goes on a cold streak, Boston gets hot, something like that. But the Yankees don't want to face the Astros or the Mariners in the first round. Neither one. Not with their fielding issues and the fact that the Astros are really great at making you work for it. The Mariners are really great at making you work for it. The Yankees don't want to face either team.
It's amazing we're still talking about the Yankees as being relevant.
It's not going to last long.
I don't think so either.
I think no matter who they play, they're out in the first round.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's not enough out of that team right now for me to believe that they can hold their own against anything. Boston has a prayer.
They're not showing it. They're not showing it. That's for sure.
They're really not. Like, Boston has a prayer against Seattle. Boston can beat Houston. They've already proven that. They won the 6-game series with Houston this year, even though Houston won this series because Boston swept Houston in the last series. They're still 4-2 on the year over Houston. Boston's not scared of Houston.
Mm-mm.
New York doesn't want to play Houston. But New York doesn't want to face Seattle either. So it's like, which sword do you want to die by at this point if they're the New York Yankees? And if you're Aaron Boone, do you clean your office out game 1? Or do you wait until after you guys lose in game 2?
You better phone a friend.
Him and Cashman have to go for that. That organization to actually develop some success.
I agree.
They have to. It's mind-blowing to me that they still have jobs. Like, at least Cashman. Boone, I can give some leeway to. He's trying. He can only work with what he's given. And if he's been asking for a better hitting coach and Cashman's like, nah. If he's been asking for a better pitching coach and Cashman's like, nah. If he's been asking for better choices in the draft and better choices when it comes to free agents and Cashman's like, nah. That has some impact. Cashman has to go. Boone, you could give one more season to and see how he does once a real GM takes hold.
I don't know. If I'm a new GM, I want a new manager. I want my guy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's going to depend on who they get. I mean, do you pull in? Do you lure Theo Epstein away from the Red Sox?
Ooh.
Because Theo Epstein is just a special advisor to Craig Breslow. So and I get that he's older, but the Steinbrenner understands that checkbooks have space to put big numbers on.
Steinbrenner has also set himself his own personal deadline because he's bowing out in a couple of years. So I'd love to see Theo Epstein leave the Red Sox and go to the Yankees. That would be a civil war of fans. It'd be a wonderful destruction.
That would light the Red Sox Yankees feud again in ways that people don't understand. I would actually love to see that, like legitimately.
I would too.
But I mean, realistically, I think he's basically retired, so I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of that, I think you're right. I think it does depend on who the GM is. You tell Boone, all right, look, we're not firing you right now. We're going to let the new GM decide if you keep your job.
Yeah.
That to me makes perfect sense, honestly.
And he may say, well, if you do that, then I'll make a decision for you. I'm gone. I'm leaving.
And that's entirely possible. He could just say, I don't want to be hung. I want to be hung in a difficult spot like that. Just send me my walk-in papers. And I think that Steinbrenner would. He would understand. It's like, hey, I can do this, but I understand you're probably going to want to just say no. And I get that. And nobody would blame him. So
no.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that organization because you have a lot of dead weight you have to move off of before you can really start to pull a lot through.
Yeah.
And you get rid of, because Cashman's got to answer for a lot right now. You get rid of Carlos Narvaez to your division rival. He proceeds to kick the shit out of your organization when he gets called up immediately. And both of your catchers forget that the ball's coming at him and lets him get hit in the face. Just the worst catching tandem in baseball is in the Yankees right now. They can't keep Jazz Chisholm in a position that actually makes sense for him. He should probably be playing in the outfield, but they keep dicking him around in infield positions. They're saying there's no surgery needed for Judge, but they're also not giving us a timetable on when he's going to be back. If they're smart, he's not. Leave him as a DH.
Yeah.
You're better off with him as your DH than Giancarlo Stanton.
Yep.
Give his arm the rest, save him for next season. Because you don't have anything to play for now. The playoff bonus, you're going to get that. Because realistically, when we look at the American League, unless the Rangers are 4 games back from that slot, the Guardians are a game and a half back, the Royals are 4.5, like as Angels are 6. I don't think anybody takes that slot. I think I'm with you on that. I think things hold. I think positions may change, but I think things hold for what teams are going to be in. Yeah. But if you're the Yankees, like, okay, just get that. Don't mess up too much. And then get ready for heads to roll.
Yep.
That clubhouse is going to look at. I don't think it's just coaching. I think the first thing the GM does is has a Minnesota Twins-esque fire sale. We see Jazz gone. We see Volpe gone. We see a few of the bigger names gone so they can get some pieces to rebuild that team and free up some money.
Yep. Yeah.
Goldschmidt gone. If he's not retiring, he's gone.
Yep.
They have to.
Yeah.
Oswald Peraza, they may keep him, but he hasn't been very good, so he's probably gone. That's why they wanted to go get Eugenio Suarez. And you're the Yankees. They should have been far more active. You get 3 relievers who have proceeded to be absolute dog water since you got them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dog water. Yeah.
I'm trying to not swear as much, so I said dog water instead. But like just awful. Just awful.
Yep.
And we respect the organization just because they gave Stefan his chance. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I respect the organization. This is just.
This is not Stefan would say right now. What Stefan would say?
He would be losing his mind because he understands intimately the standard of Yankee baseball, and like as a Sox fan, because I've seen it so much, I understand it. when if you're somebody that spends that much time watching Yankee baseball, you understand that there is a difference. Yankee baseball is tied into baseball lore as a whole throughout its history. That's how paramount Yankee baseball is to Major League Baseball. And you're not meeting that standard right now.
Nope.
Baseball is better when the Yankees are better.
Yes.
Like, legitimately. It just is.
Yes.
And that's why
it's fun to hate them when they're good.
It is. And this is one of the reasons why I wasn't surprised when we found out the league had juice balls for Aaron Judge a couple of years ago. I wasn't surprised in the slightest because baseball knows that baseball is better when Aaron Judge and the Yankees look good on TV.
Yep.
Every time. So
especially in the cold weather of October. I mean, that looks great on TV.
Absolutely. It's, the Steinbrenner's got to do something because you're going to be losing out on that, on that value if you don't push things back in the right direction.
Yep.
Who is it that's taking over for him? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I just saw a blurb on it and it was like, oh, that's interesting that he's going to be bowing out at a certain time.
Yeah, and I know Reinsdorf is going to be doing the same. I think his is in like 2029, which that should happen sooner rather than later. White Sox fans deserve a way better. But for me, it's disappointing. As a Red Sox fan, it's disappointing to see the Yankees, the product the Yankees are putting on the field. It just sucks.
Yep.
So if you had to pick a World Series winner right now, just based on the teams that are in, who would you have?
Oh man, I'd love to see the Cubs. I would so love to see the Cubs.
Definitely a Braves. They're in position for a Braves-esque World Series run. As far as how the playoffs goes, I understand the Braves went through a lot more. And I think that would be more the Mariners or the Red Sox if they were to, make that push like that. But as far as, being the wild card and all of that, I would like to see the Cubs in again.
I see the Cubs and the Tigers. If the Red Sox can't do it, then see the Cubs and the Tigers. Definitely not the freaking Astros. Definitely not the Dodgers. I want to, not the Mariners. I'd love to see the Cubs and the Tigers or the Cubs and the Red Sox. That would be awesome.
I would love to see Cubs Red Sox. I don't think the Tigers are going to make it past the division round. They have been playing a lot of average baseball over the last couple of months. And yeah, they have a run differential of 76 right now, which is the best in their division. And I know that they're going to win their division. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and they've been pretty consistently like that for the last month and a half. They went from having the best record in baseball by a mile to being, barely top 5.
We called that too. We said that it didn't come back to earth eventually.
And they had to. I mean, there's a lot of youth on that team. I think Jackson Joby, I think, did have a small impact. And the fact that they didn't get an actual starting pitcher at the deadline like they should have also hurt them.
Yep.
Because your starting rotation right now for the Detroit Tigers is Tarek Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, Chris Paddock, and Charlie Morton. Oh, that's right. I forgot. They got Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton's ERA this year is like 6. Let me look at it. I'm sorry, 5.48. You went from Jackson Joby to Charlie Morton is so old. I expect at some point he's going to throw a fastball and his arm's going to follow his ball to the plate. You're going to think a bat broke and he's just standing there with one arm like, no disrespect to older players, but that was not a good choice. They should have at least made a pull for Gallen. Zach Gallen would have been a better choice. or if they'd have done what I said they should do and actually trade for Chris Sale. Wait, hold on. Is he actually? Hold on. Let me look at something with that because I can't remember if he's actually going to make it back this year or not. If he's not going to make it back, then that makes sense. But, yeah, Chris Sale's not coming back. So,
No.
okay, so not Sale, but like Dylan Cease, or Zach Gallen would have been prime options. You don't have the resources at the deadline to make a trade for a guy like Joe Ryan. Nobody did. There was never going to be a Joe Ryan deal at the deadline. It wasn't going to happen. Not just because the Twins moved the needle after the Red Sox gave them what they wanted. The deal was never going to happen because they know that they will get more in the offseason when you're not trying to make a playoff run. They know that they can get either Wilyer Abreu or Jared Duran in the offseason, but Boston's not going to part with him at the deadline because they're going to need them both.
Right.
Simple as that. You're going to get more in the offseason. So that part didn't surprise me, but they should have. Gallen was on the market. Cease. You could have tried for Merrill Kelly before the Astros got him. He didn't go for a lot. You can't tell me they couldn't have met that price.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for Detroit Tigers fans that they finally have a season for the first time in 12 years that they don't have to be unhappy about. But the reason you're not going to see even the NL or even the ALCS, despite how strong of a start you had, is entirely because your GM didn't act like he should have. It's not all just because Jackson Joby had to get TJ. It's not. It's really, really not. But we'll see what happens. You know,
Yep.
Maybe they get a fire lit under them at that point, and we see something crazy where they do end up making the ALCS. But right now, for me, my ALCS is probably going to be either Boston and Seattle or Toronto and Seattle. And I think that either way, Seattle goes to the World Series.
Yeah.
I think they're facing the Brewers. I think baseball is pissed because they're not bigger markets.
It's a disaster.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be happy about
disaster.
it. And I think that Seattle gets their World Series finally.
Oh God.
Right now, because I don't think the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers aren't as good as they look right now. There's too many distractions, too many injuries, too many problems. They're going to fall apart at some point. Even if they win the division, they're still going to fall apart in the playoffs. And it probably won't even be Clayton Kershaw's fault this time. What? They've struggled to get Dustin May to do well all year. Last night, he threw a gem against the Astros in only his second game working with Andrew Bailey. Kyle Harrison. He is. And Kyle Harrison is about ready to come up. Well, I think what we're going to see at September call-ups is I think we see Christian Campbell come up and work some first base. He's going to platoon first base with Toro. And if he handles it well and he's hitting well, he stays. He's on the 26-man when they go into October. And then on the pitching side, I think we see Kyle Harrison. Because it goes the September expansion is what? It's 3 slots, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's your 3. Or that's 2 of your 3.
It's more fun when there's more slots available. It was more fun seeing the entire dugout packed.
It's things
Those
are
were good
always fun.
times.
Things are always fun when more slots are available, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
times change and the slot availability diminishes over time.
Yeah.
That was a great vagina joke for anybody not paying attention. Anyway, but I don't see. I mean, Mookie's been struggling. Freddie's had some distractions this year. They're struggling with injury. I don't see it. I think that if they're lucky, they make it to face the Brewers and the NLCS and lose there. But I see them losing in the second round to whoever they play.
I'm good with that.
Does Dave Roberts get fired because they lost in the second round?
Ooh.
I think 1 year removed from a World Series and getting to the second round with all the struggles I have, I don't think it happens. But
I don't think he would. No.
I mean, you've seen organizations be crazy aggressive before.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think he would stay.
I do too.
And this comes from a Giants fan, no less.
Let me see. Let me take a look at my favorite topic. The question that we are going to end our show with, that I like to end, that I'm going to be ending all shows with because it's funny to me. Let's talk about how Rafael Devers is doing on the Giants. His batting average across. Go ahead.
Before we start with that, let's pour one out for Willie Adames, because the Giants finally broke him after 117 games. He's broken mentally. Today's game did it. He's broken. He spoke, and all the joy and all the hope has just been kicked the shit out of him for the rest of the season. The Giants.
I feel bad
done.
for him because I like him.
He's
a
I
good
do
guy.
too. I do too. They're done. They're done. They have no answers. They're done. As far as Devers, why bother? Why bother?
Because it's fun for me. Because in 48 games since he got traded, he is hitting 230. He has.
That's a robust 230 now. Robust.
That's robust 230.
Yes.
He has a whole 8 home runs. So the good news is you're almost to the point where you're less than 50 million a home run. Only 23 RBIs. 9 whole doubles. 9 whole doubles.
What a bargain.
OPS is 760. Could you? Oh, and he's played a little first. And
yes.
Hold on. Let's go back and look at the fielding stats.
No, that's not.
No, this is. We have to be objective in how we talk about this. And for those of you wondering, I am. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
It's our journalistic integrity, like Big J journalism, Craig.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you anymore. You're breaking up. Sorry, breaking up.
So in 10 games at first, 90 innings, obviously. He has a fielding percentage of 0.98, so not bad. Let's see, how many errors has he made? Come on. Any errors? Has he made any errors? He's made 1 error. So 1 error over 10 games. That's an improvement. He's only making an error in 10% of his games. I mean, in 2024, while playing for the playing third for the Red Sox, he led the league with errors at third base at 12 over 130 games. So, I mean, as long as he doesn't make an error in the next couple of games he's at first, he's actually, doing better. Am I helping, Craig? Am I helping?
Oh yeah, I feel so much better now. So much better. Giants fans these days are looking at the NFL schedule and when do the 49ers start? Because it's done. It's done.
I think 49ers win their division this year.
I do too.
Christian McCaffrey back. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year for 49ers. Brock Purdy needs a bounce back season. I think it'll be a good.
Yep.
All right, man. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up tonight?
A thought. Nope, I'm blank. Sorry.
For those of you watching, we appreciate you. For those of you checking after the fact, please join us live Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Also, check out Wire2Wire Sports on all their socials. We have shows every day across a variety of sports. Very knowledgeable individuals that love to see you in the chat live, commenting and making it more of a conversation. Everybody, all of us definitely enjoy that. Please definitely support everything that Wire2Wire has to offer. We've got merch on the website, wire2wiresports.live. That's wire2wiresports.live. Definitely check it out. For my hetero live mate, Craig Newton, the sexiest man in Santa Clarita, I am 7. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week right here on podcast named Deferred. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.